Hello. Men are improving their lives every day here in St. Louis. They're eating better and they're looking better. Come on back because we're going to talk about men living a good life. Welcome to City Corner Robin Boyce, and we've got a great episode today dealing with eating right, feeling good, and we're going to talk about that with men. In the studios with me is Mr. Melvi Shahid, who is CEO and president of the Empowerment Network, and we also have an author who has done some really good things with reference to helping people learn how to eat better, do better with their lives, Mr. Nathaniel Jordan, who is author of several different books, but we call him the Minister of Wellness. How you doing, both of you?
Good.
I'm so glad you both could come in and talk with us. Nathaniel, I know he said, hey, when we get on the show. And I've seen you out there on the networks and you're doing really, really well. But then I'm gonna start out with you, Melvi. How are things, Melvi? With the Empowerment Network, you just are coming off a really big gala that you all had.
Yep. This year, the Empowerment Network is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. We're 10 years old.
10 years.
Can you believe that?
No, I
10
can't. I remember when you all started it.
Yeah.
It was when I first moved back to St. Louis. Yeah.
10 years of saving lives, 10 years of empowering men in the community about a disease that's claiming the lives of men, and that disease is prostate cancer.
And are you seeing a big change within the 10-year period? Because like I said, I remember when you guys were getting started, I would see you at different wellness expos, different health workshops and things like that. And the guys, it's crazy. The guys would be sitting there at the table, your guys are the folks supported organizations, but no one would go over to y'all's table.
Right.
So I would go over there and just kind of talk with the brothers and learn more. They say, well, sister, here, give this information out to so-and-so. And of course, I would give it to the men who are in my life, my brothers and different folks that I knew. But it's why aren't we talking more about it like they talk about these days breast cancer, for example?
But I think we are, because of the great partnerships, the great relationships, and the great collaboration that the Empowerment Network has been able to make over the years. Men now are more informed and they're more educated about this disease. And one of those great relationships, and I got to do a shout out to the Prostate Cancer Coalition at Washington University, Seidman Cancer Center. Much love to Dr. Arnold Bullock, Dr. Landis Hall, Dr. Bettina Drake, and the whole coalition that's working hard now to advocate smart screening for men around this disease.
So is there good penetration going on right now with reference to getting guys to get tested?
Yes, it is.
See a difference now?
Yes, we're seeing a great difference. In fact, the Empowerment Network has had its first year of no deaths. No deaths. Can you imagine that? For 10 years, every year we had men that were dying from this disease. But in our 10th year, we have not lost not one survivor to this disease called prostate cancer. And I think that's greatly due to the work of the Empowerment Network, the Prostate Cancer Coalition, and all the great medical providers and survivors that have come together. It's been a team effort, and teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it has made it work. Minister of Wellness, tell us more about why you took on that purpose in making sure people were eating better.
Yeah, so 6 years ago, I was 100 pounds overweight.
Which is unbelievable, just to see you right now. But I did see some of the pictures in your book and everything. I'm like, wow, he was a big guy. Yeah.
And I had heart disease already in my 20s. All the men in my family died from heart disease and stroke. As a matter of fact, that is by far the #1 killer, is heart disease. So when my blood pressure became high and I researched and found out some of the dangers of the blood pressure medications, I started to do some research, and I learned from some great medical doctors who treat people nutritionally that these diseases that are wreaking havoc in our society, such as the heart disease and cancers, a large part of that is because of our diet.
Okay.
And when I changed and applied the knowledge, I went from 30% body fat to 4%, 260 to 160, and I reversed all of my conditions.
So you basically changed how you ate or the kinds of foods you're
Yes,
eating? What
yes.
did you do?
Well, I was eating a tremendous amount of animal protein.
Okay.
And even the National Cancer Institute and the American Cancer Society will tell us that we should be eating a plant-based diet. So we're food addicts.
And no meat at all, just plant-based? Or?
Right, correct. That depends
It varies,
on
okay.
right. That depends on the situation. For people who are trying to reverse disease, you probably want to get all your protein from plants. So I was consuming too much of the processed foods. We have a tremendous amount of foods perpetuating our communities
Yes.
that are loaded with dangerous chemicals that causes disease, obesity, cancer, heart disease. And I got away from those. And it's the foods that grow from earth, returning to foods that grow in the garden, foods in the produce. Those are the foods that are loaded with natural medicines.
Yes.
That keeps the body strong and lean and fit. And I returned to a natural way of eating. And I feel I've stayed this way. I've maintained my weight loss in excellent health for 7 years now.
So you would call, that's excellent. You would call yourself a vegan now, or
I prefer the term because of
Right.
all the politics
Sure.
associated with vegan. What I tell people is that I'm eating an anti-cancer diet. So if someone says, okay, I want to live in a manner to reduce my risk significantly
Sure.
of getting cancer, what would I eat? What foods would I eat to keep my immune system strong? So if you look at Harvard Medical School, the World Health Organization, National Cancer Institute, American Cancer Institute, they're all going to direct you towards the plants. So I like to refer to myself as I'm eating an anti-cancer, anti-heart disease diet.
Wow. Okay. It totally makes the biggest difference when you eliminate things out of your
Yes.
life then that you know are not really helping you. Or you have it in the group sessions that you have with some of the guys who come in and find out that they have prostate cancer. Is diet a part of the talks that you all have with the guys?
Well, really, diet is one of the risk factors around prostate cancer. So we encourage men in our organization to eat closer to the earth because we
Okay.
are digging our graves with our teeth. We're absolutely doing that. To eat out of the earth, and in America we eat out of the bags more than we eat.
Yeah, we do.
We eat out of earth.
Yeah, or in the unfortunate food deserts that we do have in some of our communities, we still have that fast food restaurant
Right.
there that's popping that bird in that grease, and folks are going to buy it because they're hungry.
Right.
So how do we get folk to kind of change that focus to do better when it comes to plant-based diets? What do we do to change that whole philosophy, to flip it around?
Well, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Knowledge is power, and I actually had the blessing last year of speaking at the Empowerment Network. So Brother Shaheed I came in and empowered them, and they were and some changes I'm sure were made in that area. So it starts with knowledge. Most people don't know that cruciferous green vegetables like kale and bok choy contain a medicine called isothiocyanate that actually chokes cancer cells. They don't know that. They don't know that a half a cup of beans every day has been shown to reduce risk of death from colon cancer by 30%. So people they don't know these things because unfortunately a lot of the knowledge concerning the natural means to treating diseases is not profitable. And so a lot of that information is out there by the mainstream organizations. They'll tell you all of this, but it's kind of buried. It's kind of kept.
Because it's not marketed to
Right.
be healthy. But we do have organizations like Empowerment Network who push healthy eating
Right.
and healthy starts. Do you find that when guys come in who find out about Empowerment Network? Because a lot of guys don't go out seeking your organization,
No.
but when it hits them, they go, when
Right.
they hear that from the doctor,
Right.
guys will come, and then the process begins in first healing and helping them get through just past prostate cancer, the word, because that just takes folks away. When they hear that.
It's a shock.
It's
It's a shocker.
unbelievable. But then as that starts winding down and guys start dealing with the realities, what are some of the things that you're talking with the brothers about?
Well, healthy lifestyle, total healthy lifestyle, spiritual, mental, psychological, and tapping into a man's emotions. That's so critical in the life of a man, to understand that his emotional health, as well as giving him the support that he needs as he goes through this journey and goes through the storm of this disease. He needs support, so we offer that to men who are not newly diagnosed with prostate cancer, absolutely free of charge, no charge.
No charge at all?
No charge at all.
That's really the important thing that people really need to understand is the kind of support they have. I think a lot of men think that if they're going through something that is as hard as finding out they have prostate cancer, a lot of them kind of whittle away in the background and don't do anything about it until mama or auntie or their sister or their wife or whatever matter sees them sitting there and they get really, really, really sick.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we have to salute our caregivers. Those ladies, those mothers, those daughters that are there to walk this journey with us. Also, I encourage men, your helping is your healing. Your helping becomes your healing. And when we can help others outside of the pain within ourselves, it helps us to heal even faster.
It does, it does. I find doing things, volunteering, helping other folks out is a great healing process. So just like a process that I did several years back when I first got back here and working with the Community Women Against Hardship, I taught the kids and the moms how to plant a garden. That was so cool to get those babies to do that because they learned how to eat better. But we could talk about this all day long. I'm so glad you came in, Melvie, to talk with us about the Empower Network. But we're going to be right back with the Minister of Wellness, who's going to continue to educate us about some of the good foods we should be eating. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, my sister.
All righty. We'll be right back.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Hey? God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Do you want to know what city government is doing for you?
Yes, Mr. President. Board Bill 69 committee substitutes the budget bill for the Parking Commission And this bill is a big deal and a great deal for the citizens of the city of St. Louis.
Watch STL TV, the city government channel, then you'll know.
Welcome back to the studios. I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. And with me here is Nathaniel Jordan, who's here to continue to talk with us about healthy eating and really feeling good about ourselves when especially we pick up the right kinds of foods to eat. Okay, tell us, you're a food coach, you are a health and wellness coach. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I help people to overcome their food addiction. Because that's
people truly can't get addicted to food.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
tried to explain that to some folks, but they don't think
right.
So
Yeah.
food, there is such a thing as food addiction.
Well,
Explain that.
we have 300 million people in the nation, and over 90% of them are overweight or obese, and they don't want to be. During the New Year's, January 1st, the number one reigning New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Yet most people will fail. And most diets fail. So this is an epidemic. All we have to do is just walk through Walmart and look around and see that food addiction, people are eating in a manner that is destroying their weight and health, even though they don't want to. Now, I've kept my weight off for 6 years now.
Yes.
And so I've identified 12 components of food addiction that's keeping people trapped in this vicious cycle.
Let's try to get through them. Okay, number one.
Yeah, so the first one is the pleasure trap. The foods, these I call them Franken foods, because like Frankenstein was created in the laboratory, the foods that we gobble down all day, they're created in laboratories.
Got you.
And they put chemicals in them that hook the brain. More pleasurable than crack cocaine.
I never really realized that.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you call processed food.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And so that's the pleasure trap, that food is now the most abused drug in America. So people, most people won't snort crack cocaine or do heroin, but they eat.
Now, is that in the fast foods as well? Is that
yes.
Like cigarettes,
right,
where they put those certain chemicals in some cigarettes to addict people?
Yes.
That's in some fast foods
There's
as well?
over 10,000 FDA-approved chemicals being added to the food supply.
That are approved?
Yes.
Okay, all right. to the next one, please.
So that's the pleasure trap. When you get your brain hooked to shooting up with food, it'll send you cravings. So that pull to go through that drive-through, that's the defense mechanism. The brain doesn't want to experience a loss of pleasure, so it tries to literally suck you in. That's called craving. For most people, they can't get past that. The craving is too much.
Yes.
The third component is the extinction burst. If you say no to your brain, you say no. I just heard the minister of, well, I'm not doing it.
Right.
Then that's when you think about the crackhead in rehab when he's foaming at the mouth.
And you actually start wanting that food. Okay.
It gets the first week of overcoming any addiction is the worst.
Yes.
You go through extreme withdrawal. That's called the extinction burst.
Okay.
The fourth component is spontaneous recovery. Meaning that if you, unfortunately, you have to wage a war just to be healthy in America. It's sad. Just to be lean and healthy, it's like fighting a war.
It is.
And if you relax at any point, you're going to get back on what I call the death train. So you'll have people. This is the phenomenon with people. They'll smoke for years. They'll quit, but then they'll start to relax on what kept them free.
You quit.
And New Year's Eve, they'll relax, smoke something, and then before you know it, they back at square one.
Right.
That's called spontaneous recovery. Pretty much, once you addict your brain to something, the brain will never cease to try to get you back to the addiction. So you have to stay vigilant your entire life to be lean and healthy. The fifth component is social normalcy.
Okay.
Everybody's overweight and obese. So overweight and obese that when I went from 260 to 220, they were on the police department. I was a police officer.
Yes, you were.
Here in the city.
Yes.
I went from 260, they was used to calling me Big Nate.
Right.
And then I get down to 220 and they telling me I look like a crackhead.
Serious? Oh, wow.
Well, if I
Okay.
look like a crackhead at 220, what I look like now, and I'm only 170 pounds.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
you know, so that's
You look
social
healthy,
normalcy.
you look
right.
good, yes.
Thank you. And so, and that's social normalcy. And people want, that's enough to keep most people trapped, just being different from everybody. It's sad that
It's very sad.
if you're healthy and fit,
Yes.
you're so different that you can subject yourself to scrutiny. And that leads to the sixth component, pain avoidance. Because for most people, breaking free from destructive habits that everyone else is engaging in is too much pain. I helped a guy lose 100 pounds in 100 days. But because those closest to him didn't want him being that small, he gained it all back.
That's an addiction too, right? Wanting to fall into what the haters hate.
Right. But some people, they don't have that type of resolve in them to say,
Really?
no, I'm going to be a leader. A lot of people can't. For a lot of people, overcoming, fighting their family and friends to be healthy is too much.
Yeah.
And to me, what I'm saying is that is a crying shame.
It is.
That someone's supposed to love you and they will fight you just because you're trying to take care of your health.
That is so true.
And then the seventh component is toxic hunger. This is the reason why Americans feel like they have to eat every 3 hours. Their stomach growls. What I'm saying is that that's not hunger. That's toxic hunger. That's your body trying to heal. I don't feel that anymore. I used to get headaches and stomach rumbling when I was eating junk foods.
Okay.
But when you nourish your body with plant foods, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, and other plant food, that goes away. And so here's what happens. You can go very long periods of time without food, which is actually healthy because the only time your body can detox is when you're fasting. But most Americans are so unhealthy, they feel too uncomfortable to go any period of time without food. So every 3 hours, it's a peppermint or some bubble gum, or, and that's toxic hunger.
Or that sweet, I
Right,
want that sweet thing taken care of.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. This is good.
The eighth component is the eighth component of food addiction is bad bacteria.
Okay.
So when we eat junk foods, it builds bad bacteria in our gut that compromises healthy gut bacteria and helps to fuel cravings.
Okay. This is all very scientific too. You did a lot of research and pulling this together.
Right. I'm the only one that has come up. This is from all my years of research. I've helped coach over 100 clients. I have dozens of success stories. I'm my own success story. I fight my food addiction every day. You just don't go from eating a pack of fried chicken every day to how I eat now without difficulties.
Exactly.
So all of this helps me out. And this is what I've identified, and this is what I teach others. And so, and the ninth component is energy conservation. We're lazy. We're naturally lazy. We want the most for the least amount of effort. And so you can drive through, not even have to get out of your car and somebody dump 10,000 calories worth of junk in your lap. And so for most people, the idea that I have to prepare my own food is so overwhelming, and it's enough to keep most people trapped. And that's sad because you will never achieve anything worth value in life if you don't put the work in.
Right. And this is a lot of work. Really learning how to eat differently.
Right.
Okay, the next steps.
The 10th component is the cram circuit. That's a survival mechanism where we're naturally prone to want to seek calorically rich food and binge because 1,000 years ago, you had to prepare yourself for the oncoming famine. So you ate when you could. So we've kept that instinct, but now we're in a 24/7 feast. And that instinct is working against us.
It really is. I'll sit and I'll look at some people sometimes. I will not mention any names, and oh my God, they'll take that whole whatever they filled up on that plate and they'll go at it and they'll stay in it and they won't lift out of it. And it's like, whoa. Right. So that's what that's from.
Right. And that's something that I have.
Okay.
My father, he was a gluttoner. He had 9 strokes. And died at age 66.
That was young.
I have a huge appetite, but now the miraculous thing is that I eat a 3-pound salad every day. So I love to eat, but when I'm done eating that 3-pound salad, I have nothing left because my body is nourished. I've given myself the fiber it needs, and it shuts hunger off.
Okay.
And so I don't have to eat for the rest of the day. But if I go back to something low nutrient, I can eat all day.
Now, are salads the only thing you eat, or
Oh
you've
no,
got
you're
other
there,
greens
right?
and
Yeah,
things that you're
right.
working with?
Salads, smoothies, delicious soups, main dishes.
Gotcha, okay.
Different type of pastas and so you can
Yum, yum.
get very creative.
So we still can get creative in eating
Absolutely.
differently.
Yes,
Okay, the other
yes,
steps,
ma'am.
you got 2 more steps?
Right. The 11th component is the conditioned cram. That means that we are so wired to want high fat, high salt, high sugar foods that you can eat a large salad, you can go to a party, and it can be a table full of vegetables, and in the middle of the vegetables there's a Snicker, and you're going to go grab the Snicker.
So you've seen me at that party, okay? Yeah, that's true.
That's the conditioned cram.
That is so true.
And the food industry knows all of this. They know we're almost having.
You know, we don't think about that.
No.
That you got researchers that are back in R&D who've already put this together and
Yeah.
said, "Yo, this is how we're going to get these folks to pick up this particular food." Okay, and the last one.
And the last one is the worst one, the ego trap.
Okay.
The ego trap is hopelessness, to where you fail so much in achieving your health and weight goals that you give up. You identify with being obese. You identify with being sick. I'm old.
Wow.
I can't lose weight. That's too small. I don't
Wow.
want to get that small. Yes, you do. But yeah, we start to internalize our failure. And the worst part about that is that when someone internalizes their failures, they externalize it by trying to keep people sucked into their hopelessness.
Wow.
So that's when you'll have the people where they will persecute others when they see them getting off of the death train.
So they will actually go out and seek other folks that are like them
Yes.
to be miserable
Yes.
with them,
Right.
so that they'll continue.
And don't you dare come out if the whole group is overweight.
Exactly.
If one person decides, they say, I can't do this no more. I can't live a lie.
Oh, my
you have to
goodness.
get out. They'll kick you out.
So food is really something we
Yeah.
really, really, really have to sit down and scientifically get serious
Yes,
about
yes.
and really, really study. Now, you've got some books out. We got one here on the table called Genocide by Diet.
Yes, ma'am.
and this is really changing people's lives. And in fact, they've got to hit you at ministerwellness.com.
Yes, the minister, right.
You've been sold out of your books because it's going so well, and you're doing great with really doing personal training for people as well.
Right, yes, ma'am. I do health coaching and I do my seminars. I have multiple. I'm primarily a motivational health speaker.
Great. Great.
And that comes to a couple of
So you
events
can
I
go to
have.
churches, you can go to groups
Yes,
and
yes.
men's groups, women's groups, and talk with
Yes.
folks. I really enjoyed having you here. We've got to have you back in. We're going to break the studio down and have like the kitchen out. And we'll bring some chefs in and we'll do some stuff and some veggie things and really do some different kind of cooking that people can feel really healthy about. I really appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a healthy, healthy new year. I know I am. I'm going to give all those ideas and those steps a look and really change my life. Thank you so much. I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. See you next year.